If you believe the shit that's on the television as a man, you're gonna be miserable. So you're either at war with your brain or you're at war with them. Anyone who's gonna sit there and go, I believe Andrew Tate is a human trafficker, I have 25 vaccines, I believe in Ukraine. These people are already paying the price because they're already miserable, and I can guarantee everyone who dislikes me is an unhappy person because their minds are enslaved. So when someone sits across from me, which has never happened in person, but let's say someone on the internet makes a video about me, right? And these happen. A new Andrew Tate's the worst man ever. I can load up the video and just look at him for a fraction of a second. You know, he's paid the price. He's already miserable. If I was that person, then depression would be real. These are fat internet trolls, losers, who can't compare to me in any human metric. They know it, which is why they dislike me. Because anybody who genuinely gets out in the world and looks for truth and looks to be successful and is tenacious and is brave agrees with everything I say. So I don't feel pain when someone sits and says garbage about me because I believe that their mind is already suffering because they're not free. Their mind's not free. Anybody who can listen to what I say long enough and not be emotional about it and actually understand it, well, those people aren't paying a price. So maybe that's a coping mechanism, but every single time I see a woman who hates me or a man who hates me and I compare them to the people who like me, there's a massive contrast in overall physical attractiveness, success, financial success. Like, it's amazing. Sure. So it's like, okay, well, my haters are way down here and the people who agree with me are way up here, so let them hate.
Maybe they just resent you.
Of course, no, maybe. I think a lot of the reason this is happening to me is, and maybe this is arrogant, but... Are you arrogant? I'm with the therapist, so I'm allowed to be arrogant, right? A lot of the reason this is happening to me is because I'm tall, built, muscles, and cool cars, and, you know, smart. People don't like me. There's people who look at me and go, he thinks he's too cool, teach him a lesson. There's a massive amount of resentment involved in all of this. Even from the Matrix itself. We talk about the Matrix, and I talk about it, and people, you know, of course we compare it to the movie. But at the end of the day, there are people moving parts in all of this. There's a prosecutor, there's a judge, there's a lawyer, whatever. Someone is sitting in an office who gets a piece of paper saying, destroy Andrew Tate. And that person looks at my life and compares it to theirs, and they feel resentful. And then they go, okay, let me use every power I have to try and destroy this man. If my life wasn't so aspirational, is a word you can use, but if it also didn't tick nearly every single box in regards to every teenage boy's dream, I think that they would be a lot less interested in trying to hurt me. They're trying to hurt me because of the things I have and what I can do. So there's a massive level of resentment in all of it. And I also think the people who dislike me a lot of it's resentment. It's either weaponized virtue or resentment, especially weaponized virtue. Let's talk about that, because whenever I have a hater online, it's funny, people who hate me in person are very respectful to me. It's very strange. Isn't it weird how the bottom line of humanity is always going to be physicality? When they meet me, they shut up. But online, it's very hard to say I'm stupid. It's very hard to say I'm not successful. It's very hard to say I'm fat. It's very hard to say I'm ugly. It's very hard to say I'm not charming or I'm not charismatic. It's very difficult to attack me with anything other than the fact I'm a bad person. He's all these things, he's perfect in nearly every metric, but he's a bad person, right? So how do you do that? Well, you take a virtue and you weaponize it, misogyny, homophobic, whatever it is. They pretend they care about the subject when they don't, and they put it into a bullet and they shoot it at you. And it's weaponized virtue, it's not genuine virtue. These people who are saying I'm a misogynist don't care about combating misogyny. They just want to try and hurt me with it. That's the first thing. Well, the second thing is genuine resentment. Yeah, I remind them of the guy who picked on me in school, or the guy who fucked their girl, took the girl off them, and they don't like me for it. But that's not my problem, that's their issue.